As much as we all like to rip on men, this is time to take some accountability.
But I guess my question here is, you mentioned the slippery slope. So what then, like, I guess you would be, if we were to change like the political alignment, let's say, and I was trying to think like who on the left side or the Democrat side would be on Charlie Kirk's level. I don't actually think there's a lot of left-leaning influencers that are on his level. I mean, like if I was thinking like maybe not even Hassan is not on Kirk's level. You know who Hassan Piker is?
Yes.
Right. And just to be clear, don't think anybody should. But I was thinking if like somebody on the other side of the political aisle was assassinated, like would you also go to the defense of, say, like Republicans or conservatives who are publicly rejoicing and saying like despicable statements because, like, from their perspective, like logically, wouldn't it follow that, well, because of the disagreements on politics, that they're justified in rejoicing?
Well, see, here's where it gets complicated, because I don't think that people have a right to rejoice over disagreements, like, right? I don't think that people necessarily are rejoicing over Charlie Kirk's death because they disagreed with him. I think it's because he genuinely was proposing policies that were harming people.
So that was a lie.
He was actively advocating for things that were, yes.
No.
Go on.
Well, so
you get my point.
But you're saying harm, right?
Yes.
But from your perspective, right?
Exactly.
But from the other perspective,
yes,
they would say, well, these pro-choicers, if they're okay, the pro-choice position is that this is murder. When you get an abortion, you're murdering an unborn child. So from their perspective, that's harm being done. So from their perspective, you must, I know you don't agree with that, but you would have to, I guess, to logically be consistent if you're, I mean, otherwise, well, I guess you could just say, well, I don't agree with their worldview, therefore they're not justified in their, rejoicing in like a left-wing politician or, whoever, speaker, political activist being assassinated. But if their worldview is genuinely that abortion is murder, like it would be fair then for them to rejoice?
Yes.
You serious?
And they say men are the violent ones. All this week I've been seeing TikToks of women saying the same thing, that it's understandable for you to get killed over your words. Man, this generation of women are something else.
So, okay, that you'd be fine with like abortion clinics being...
No, from my personal perspective, obviously I don't understand it. I can't put myself in that headspace because that's not what I view it as. If someone genuinely believes that babies are being murdered and they assassinate someone to stop that from happening, I can understand people being happy about that if they genuinely believe babies are being murdered. I can't get into that headspace. I can't get behind it. But with such a strong emotion like that, I get it.
But so I can tell you this, there are political positions on the left. I lean more conservative, right? I'm not like full blown conservative, but I lean like mostly pretty strongly conservative. There are people who I have fundamental disagreements with on politics and so forth. And there are some positions that I think are really hard, that left-leaning positions, leftist positions, liberal positions, Democrat positions that are really harmful to society. They cause harm. But because somebody advocated for these positions or voted for whatever it is, even if a political opponent of mine was assassinated, I would never rejoice. I would condemn and disavow anybody on my side who did rejoice, even if this person was a political opponent, a very strong one. That's kind of the difference here. So is I don't think, even though there's differences of political opinion, I don't want to see it happening on my side. I don't want to see it happening on the other side.
Yeah, I am. I have one thing to say on that, and I want to bring the attention more over here because I've been leaving you waiting. I personally, I'm on the same page. I'm not about to go and rejoice over anyone's death, no matter what. Especially because I think when it comes to gun violence, to rejoice in any death from gun violence is to rejoice in gun violence. And I think that is disgusting. I think that's gun violence is completely avoidable, and one of the it is should be condemned in all manners. On that note, I do think that there is a. Do you believe that there is like a threshold of evil you can cross to where it's warranted for people to have a reaction, such as the reaction they're having to Charlie Kirk, whether or not you think he was there or not? Do you think that that level can be reached?
Yes, there is a threshold you can cross where rejoicing in your death would seem okay. For instance, if you were a mass murderer, serial killer, rapist, pedophile, it'd be warranted because it'd be nice to get you off the streets. But Charlie Kirk was nothing near those classifications. So the rejoicing of his death was evil in itself.
Yeah, I think that there are genuinely people who are monsters, and yes, but I don't believe Charlie Kirk passed that threshold.
Okay, I can understand that.
Like, for example, you brought up, you invoked Hitler for, I mean, okay.
A bit extreme, I understand.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like this, so Hitler participated, like there were war crimes.
Yes.
War crimes.
He comes.
So, but
yes.
But when you're engaged in and conducting war crimes, then the ultimate punishment for that would be death. So point out, so like, and this is wartime too. This is a belligerent nation. The United States was opposed to the Axis powers. So, and Hitler was the leader of Germany. So yeah, typically when you're having an actual physical war with somebody, you're trying to actually like take out the leadership.
Yes.
So there's actually like legal justification, wartime justification for attempting to kill like commanders, leaders of the opposing military because you're at war. In this case, however, I guess my question to you would be, has Charlie Kirk committed an act that the state would be able to commit capital punishment against him for any of his conduct?
No, and
So Hitler, as a belligerent against the United States, did commit certain acts during wartime that would warrant capital punishment.
Yes. My question here, when bringing that up, is not to pose like, why is Hitler deserving and Charlie Kirk isn't. I'm not posing that question. I understand the difference there. The question I am posing is, are there circumstances in which it's warranted? Regardless of what the circumstances are, I'm just wondering if that's a threshold you can reach, which you've said yes to.
So why then can't I say, well, the threshold for murder or assassinating somebody is because they hurt my feelings?
A personal belief like that, it's up to you.
My feelings got hurt.
See, I think that's absurd, but people hold their own individual beliefs. The threshold lies where it lies for each individual. We can't affect that.
Or what about somebody, I don't know, somebody called me stupid.
Sure, yeah, that's insane. But I think that
them?
Not legally. The same, like anyone can murder anyone. We are really drastically overlooking the point that people are being killed with guns specifically, constantly in this country, obsessively.
Yeah. And
we only really care when it's a public face like this because it's fun to cause outrage, I guess. People love to argue, right? I think that, frankly, the most upsetting part of the entire Charlie Kirk situation is the fact that people care so much more when it's his life than it is with anyone else's.
Y'all smoking crack! Something is wrong with you people!
Are you serious? You don't know why people care so much about his death compared to others? Brian, don't even answer that question. She's clearly playing dumb.
He was murdered live on television. That's a huge difference in what you're just saying.
In front of his kids too, and his wife.
And I understand. I would like to ask if I can I discuss Palestine here, or should I not bring that up?
I'm kind of okay with it. One, I know you want to come in. I'm
so sorry. I keep interrupting you.
Well, so.
Who's coming to this group for our political opinion? Like, how did we go from dating to
I know what happened.
This group's political opinion?
I can't shut up.
Well, it is a pretty big breaking news thing. Well,
I agree with Charlie Kirk, but our deep political philosophy, this group,
in case you couldn't tell, I can't shut up.
You ain't lying.
Well, I mean, not to bring this back to Charlie Kirk, but we had like a shining exemplary person.
I want to say something to that.
Who did the nice guy thing, and they murdered him anyways. These scumbags.
I'd like to say something.
These scumbags. I think it's time that we put our foot on the gas a little bit and stop this friendly rhetoric. I'm not saying, look, this isn't a call to violence or anything. I'm just saying maybe it's time we put our foot on the neck a little bit, rhetorically speaking. This nice guy, they still murdered this guy.
They're calling
these
on
scumbags.
TikTok the white Malcolm X is what they're calling him on TikTok. And that, to that end, I did want to say one thing. That was the most tragic piece of this was that he was trying to bridge the gap, open dialogue between two sides, and he genuinely, emphatically wanted to understand everything he posed. It didn't matter what race, creed, color, age, what the agenda was. He truly wanted to understand. Sometimes people changed his mind, but he was open and he was bridging the gap. And he was the only one that I saw doing it.
What is he doing?
He's beginning to believe.
Who, Charlie?
Yeah.
Well, I think
Like that, in that way.
Sorry.
No,
I think
not at
we
all.
need a boot on the neck rhetorically. Rhetorically, we need a boot on the neck. I'm telling you, that's how it's got to be. Because he tried to do the nice guy thing, and they still murdered. They assassinated this guy.
Yeah, I think I understand that. But I also think that we have to be careful in calling someone a scumbag and using that to then justify our poor treatment of them.
You sure about that?
I disagree. The more you call them out for their scummy ways, the more people will get to see what we're actually dealing with here. Real life demons.
That's what I call a chain reaction.
Manifest my own destiny. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. The perfect recipe. May they remember me. My words will live on. I'm guided by an energy, a flame. Hold it close to you. Check out my melodies. Is it the media that's been leading you? I'll show you a thing. Misdirection, what's the message? They don't want you to win.
As much as we all like to rip on men, this is time to take some accountability.